On our vast planet, there are places that seem like they were made to be stages for the toughest challenges, where life tests its limits against wild nature. Among these places, Siberia stands out as a land of contrasts in every detail. It brings together stunning beauty and absolute harshness, where wildlife shows its most amazing and challenging forms. Siberia, that huge area stretching endlessly in the far north of Asia, is covered in ice for many months in a row. Its forests turn into silent white paintings, broken only by the footprints of an animal looking to survive. In complete contrast, there are other lands hugged by the hot sun and long droughts. But Siberia remains a symbol of bitter cold, where rivers freeze and snow covers everything. And life becomes a daily fight against strong winds and long darkness. In this extreme environment, stories of survival and toughness appear in their most amazing forms, as animals adapt to unforgiving conditions and come up with amazing ways to stay alive. Every day in Siberia is a new chapter in the epic struggle for survival, where predators silently stalk their prey, and small creatures fight their hidden battles under layers of ice. Here, the majestic Siberian Taiga moves silently through the snow-covered taiga trees, its steps as quiet as a shadow. Its golden eyes watch every movement in the white forest, waiting for its prey, which can only run or hide. And under this thick blanket of snow, another life begins, where small rodents dig their complex tunnels deep in the ground, escaping the deadly cold and searching for seeds hidden since autumn in a constant race against hunger and death. In other parts of the world, wildlife might appear in different ways, but in Siberia, every creature is a hero in an endless story of survival. Even other predators in the world don't face the challenges that the creatures of Siberia do. Here every moment is a test of strength, smarts, and endurance. Life here is not easy at all. Every day is a new battle against harsh nature, where creatures fight for food, and only the strongest and most adaptable survive. Siberia is not just a geographical area, it's a vibrant world where stories of adaptation and toughness mix, and the fates of animals are tied together in a complex web of relationships and struggles. In the heart of this ice, the scenery changes with the seasons. White forests turn into icy lakes, and snow melts to reveal fertile land waiting for life to return. The melting ice in spring causes huge floods, bringing food and richness, and reshaping the land every year. But even in this renewal, the harshness of nature is still there. Fire, cold and drought are all unforgiving forces that set the rules for every creature living here. In Siberia, there's no room for weakness. Every animal, from the smallest rodent to the largest predator, has to be smart and fight to remain a part of this changing world. Some species have become rare, living in small pockets of forests or plains, resisting extinction with patience and determination. Sudden climate changes and winters that are longer or shorter are all new challenges added to the list of difficulties these creatures face. In this world, the Siberian tiger stands out as a symbol of strength and majesty, controlling vast areas and fighting fierce battles for survival. Alongside it live other equally tough animals, from grey wolves to Arctic foxes, each with its own secrets for surviving in the harshest conditions. Thick fur, the ability to store fat, and smart behaviours like hibernation or migration are all strategies these animals have developed over thousands of years. Even during droughts or food shortages, these creatures remain strong, searching for water and food in places no one would imagine. In Siberia, every creature is a witness to nature's greatness and harshness, and every survival story is an epic worth telling. Here, the meanings of toughness and adaptation show themselves, and wildlife writes its own chapters far from human eyes, in complete isolation in the wilderness. It's an invitation to dive deep into this wilderness, to think about its contrasts, to appreciate the toughness of its creatures, and to understand the wonder of life that thrives in the harshest parts of the earth. Siberia isn't just a place on a map. It's a huge kingdom of ice where nature's raw power is at its strongest. Here, the land stretches on forever, covered in a thick white blanket of snow and ice. A deep quiet fills the air, broken only by the howl of the cold wind. In this frozen world, winter rules everything. It's not just a season that comes and goes, but a constant state of being that lasts for more than 8 months. Temperatures drop to more than 50 degrees Celsius below zero. Your breath freezes in the air, and water turns into hard, unmoving ice. Heavy snow covers the taiga forests and tundra plains, hiding the land and creating a silent white picture. At first glance, it seems like nothing can live there. Trees look like frozen ghosts, and the land disappears into the distance under layers of ice. But even with this harsh cover, a wild heart beats, one that never gives up. Faint footprints in the snow show that creatures are fighting to survive, facing the bitter cold and darkness. Life here needs special ways to adapt. Every creature that lives in Siberia is the result of thousands of years of natural selection. Only the strongest and most able to handle the conditions survive. Look at the fur of a Siberian tiger or a lynx. You'll see thick layers of insulating hair that trap warmth and keep the cold from getting to their bodies. Every hair is like a small shield against the Arctic winds. Under their skin, layers of fat build up. These are like energy storage and a warm cushion that protects their important organs from freezing. Their wide paws work like natural snowshoes. They spread out the weight and keep the animals from sinking into deep snow. This lets them move lightly over the white surface. Some animals, like the Arctic fox, can amazingly change their fur colour as the seasons change. This helps them blend in with their surroundings and avoid predators or prey. During snowstorms, animals gather together. They share warmth and face the strong winds as one. Staying alive here isn't just about one animal, it's a group challenge. From polar bears roaming the far north to grey wolves hunting in packs, each species has its own special ways to deal with hunger and the bitter cold. Some animals go into a deep sleep, closing their eyes and slowing their heart rate until the long winter passes. Others stay active, taking every chance to find food in the ice. The Arctic hare digs in the snow for buried plants, and foxes quietly chase their prey. Every move is carefully planned to save energy. And with the short spring, things suddenly change. The ice melts quickly, forests turn into flowing rivers, and life explodes again in a race against time. Rivers flow strongly, carrying away what's left of winter and waking the land from its long sleep. Migratory birds return in huge numbers, taking advantage of the many insects that suddenly appear with the warm sun. Plants that were sleeping under the snow sprout and bloom amazingly fast, racing against time to use the sunlight before winter returns. Plant-eating animals eat the fresh grass, and predators hunt their prey in this short burst of life. But summer is short, and soon preparations for the new winter begin. Every creature gathers what food it can, storing energy to face the coming cold cycle. And with each cycle, the challenges grow. This icy kingdom now faces a new and never-before-seen threat. Climate change is hitting Siberia hard. The permafrost, which was the base of life here, is melting, and the ground is cracking under the animals' feet. The melting permafrost releases greenhouse gases and changes the land. Old paths disappear, and the homes of creatures are disturbed. Rivers change their course, and animals find themselves in a harsh, changing environment. They search for shelter and food in a land that is no longer what it once was. Longer, warmer summers bring destructive forest fires. These fires burn huge areas of the taiga, destroying homes that can't be replaced and leaving behind ash and a new silence. Deep in the vast taiga forests of far eastern Siberia, where pine trees stretch endlessly and snow covers the ground like a silent cloak, a rarely seen ghost moves. It's a crowned king of the wilderness, unmatched in its white kingdom. This is the Amur tiger, also known as the Siberian tiger. It's the biggest big cat on Earth and one of the most mysterious and clever. This amazing predator shows both power and beauty, but it's also a wonder of how well it can adapt to a harsh, unforgiving environment, where extreme cold and constant hunger are the rules. An adult male can weigh over 270 kilograms. It's covered in thick, pale fur with dark stripes. This gives it perfect camouflage among the shadows of the snow-covered trees, making it disappear like a secret of the forest. The Amur tiger lives a lonely life, moving silently through huge areas that can be over thousands of square kilometers. It leaves behind paw prints that are barely visible in the snow, as if it's just a passing shadow among the trees. In this wild world, its survival depends on its amazing hunting skills and its deep understanding of the forest's rhythm and its prey's behavior. Its huge, fur-padded paws act like natural snowshoes, allowing it to walk over deep snow almost silently. This lets it get close to its prey without being noticed. Its senses are amazingly sharp, its ears can pick up the weakest sounds, and its eyes can spot the smallest movements in the dimly lit forest. It watches every twitch or whisper in this white world. The Amur tiger hunts a wide range of prey, from the huge elk that roam the forest to wild boars that dig in the snow for food. It doesn't hesitate to chase smaller prey, like wild rabbits, which are an important part of its diet when large prey is scarce. Hunting here isn't just a chase, it's a dance of patience and waiting. The tiger waits for long hours, watching and waiting for the right moment to pounce. It crawls very slowly, getting closer step by step until it's at a deadly distance. Then it launches with lightning speed, using its huge fangs to take down its prey in a crucial moment. Despite its strength and power, the Amur tiger's life isn't easy. Every day is a new battle with hunger and cold, and every winter is a test of survival. The harsh winter sets its rules for everyone. Some animals migrate or go into hibernation, and the forest becomes quieter and more desolate, making it harder to find food. The tiger needs huge amounts of meat to keep its energy up in this bitter cold, and any failed hunt can mean days of deadly hunger. In the heart of this wilderness, the tiger's life is linked with the lives of its prey, with the cycle of seasons, and with the delicate balance of the ecosystem that depends on every creature, from the smallest rodents to the largest elk. In times of scarcity, tiger numbers drop, competition for food gets fiercer, and nature's harsh laws appear in their clearest form. The Amur tiger remains a symbol of mystery, a silent ghost that disappears among the fog and snow. It's only seen in fleeting glimpses, always reminding us that the wilderness is full of secrets yet to be discovered. In this isolated world, the cycle of life continues without stopping. Hunting, chasing, hiding and surviving, all are chapters in an endless story, where every creature plays a role in the forest's balance. The giant trees whisper their secrets to the wind, and the snow hides the traces of life and death, and the tiger continues its journey, a crowned lord on the throne of silence. Sometimes tiger cubs appear in the snow, playing and learning the arts of survival, adding a touch of hope to this harsh wilderness. With each new generation, the legend of the silent ghost continues, and the taiga forests remain a stage for the struggle of survival, and a refuge for secrets known only to those who have lived in their heart. The tiger always stays alert, watching its world carefully. It knows that every day brings new challenges, and that survival is for the strongest and most cunning. The forest itself changes over time. Sometimes fires break out, and sometimes the number of prey animals decreases, and nature remains in a fragile balance, unforgiving to the weak. This is how the story of the silent ghost in the taiga forests continues, a legend of power and mystery, always reminding us of the wilderness's greatness and its endless secrets. Far from the biggest predator, Siberia is full of amazing creatures that have developed incredible survival strategies. In this frozen world, every living thing faces harsh challenges that demand smarts and flexibility to survive. Among these creatures is the Siberian pika, a small rabbit-like animal that lives in high, rocky areas. Even though it's tiny, the pika faces bitter cold and strong winds. It relies on its sharp senses to avoid predators lurking among the rocks. Unlike many small animals, the pika doesn't hibernate. Instead, it stays active all year, putting up with temperatures that can drop to 40 below zero. During the short summer, the pika races against time to gather as much plants and herbs as it can, while also avoiding birds of prey and foxes that are always watching its every move. It dries the herbs in the sun, then carefully stores them in small piles inside rock cracks, where they are safe from moisture and snow. The amount of plants it gathers can reach 20 kilograms, which is about 200 times its own weight. These huge stores sometimes attract other rodents or even bigger animals trying to steal them, which makes the pika fiercely defend its stash. These stores are its lifeline during the long winter. It depends on them to survive under the snow, and it stays alert for any danger to its home or food. In the open grasslands live the Taiga antelopes, one of the oldest creatures to survive the Ice Age. These antelopes gather in huge herds, where their large numbers protect them from wolves and golden eagles that watch the herd for weak individuals. The most special thing about this antelope is its big puffy nose that looks like a trunk. It's not just a weird shape, it's an amazing way it has adapted. In winter, the nose warms the icy air before it reaches the lungs, protecting the animal from the harsh cold and helping it breathe during snowstorms. And in the hot summer, it helps cool the blood and filter out dust stirred up by strong winds in the steppes, giving the taiga a unique ability to adapt to sudden weather changes. The taiga eat dry grasses and thorny plants that most other animals can't digest, which means less competition for food in their harsh environment. Taiga antelopes live in large herds and travel long distances looking for grazing areas. They often face frozen rivers and dust storms on their journey, and they have to keep moving to avoid predators and a lack of food. This ability to adapt to harsh weather has allowed them to survive for thousands of years. But today they face new threats like diseases and climate change, as well as fierce competition from wolves that follow the herd on its long journeys. And on the coasts of the Arctic Ocean, we find a touching story of motherhood starring the polar bear. In this white world, the bear relies on her determination and strength to protect her cubs from hunger and dangers. After spending almost 8 months in her snowy den without food, the mother bear comes out in spring with her tiny cubs who were born during winter. The cubs are weak and completely depend on their mother's rich milk, which gives them warmth and energy. Her first and most urgent task is to lead her cubs on a dangerous journey that can stretch for hundreds of kilometers across melting sea ice to reach hunting grounds, where they face risks of drowning or getting separated from the group due to melting ice. Her goal is to find seals, her main food source that's rich in fat. The bear waits for hours near seal breathing holes, enduring bitter winds and hunger, while the cubs learn hunting and survival skills from her. This journey is a race against time, as the ice melts quickly due to climate change, forcing the bears to travel longer distances and use more energy, making them more vulnerable to attacks from other bears or deadly hunger. The stories of survival aren't just for big animals. Life under the snow is buzzing with activity that you can't see with your eyes, as small creatures fight to survive in a hidden world. Under the snow cover, life continues in a complex network of tunnels dug by small rodents like field mice. These tunnels give them a relatively warm shelter and protection from predators roaming the surface. Above the surface, Arctic foxes and snowy owls watch for any movement under the snow, using their super senses to hear the tiniest sounds, then launch their quick attacks on the hidden rodents. These rodents rely on the roots and seeds they store during summer, and they compete with each other for limited resources while always staying alert for any danger that threatens them. Their survival is vital for the whole ecosystem. They are a main food source for many predators and help keep the food chain balanced in this harsh world. Every creature in Siberia, big or small, has a unique story of endurance and adaptation. The fates of animals are intertwined in a complex web of relationships where each species depends on the other to survive, making this frozen land a stage for nature's most amazing survival stories, where there's no room for weakness, and only the strongest and smartest survive. We're now leaving the harsh Siberian cold and heading to the vibrant heart of Brazil, where the deadly cold is replaced by the scorching sun. Here, in the Cerrado, the second largest ecosystem in South America after the Amazon rainforest, the ground shines under the sun's glare, and the horizon shimmers with heat waves. This vast tropical savanna stretches out with scattered shrubs and small trees among huge areas of golden grasses and dense river forests that wind around streams and rivers. The soil here is deep red, cracked from dryness and poor in nutrients, but it holds incredible life. The climate is harsh, with a long dry season that scorches the earth and a short rainy season that awakens life from its slumber. Natural fires regularly sweep across the savanna, consuming dry grasses and filling the sky with smoke. But they're not just destructive, they're the start of a new life cycle. The plants here are tough, defying drought, heat and fire, and blooming again after each fire, while animals carefully creep through the ashes looking for food and shelter. At first glance, the Cerrado might seem like a barren land, but beneath this harsh appearance, a heart of diversity and life beats. The Cerrado is one of the richest savanna areas in terms of biodiversity on Earth, where the colours of plants and the sounds of birds blend into a never-ending natural symphony. Thousands of plant and animal species live here, from tiny flowers that bloom after the rain to rare animals found nowhere else. Some of these creatures are completely unique, found only in the Cerrado, and have developed amazing ways to survive in this changing world. The trees here have thick fire-resistant bark, protecting them from frequent flames and allowing them to survive and grow back. Their roots go deep into the ground, searching for groundwater deep in the red soil, and holding them firmly against wind and drought. After each fire, flowers bloom from the ashes, covering the ground with bright colours, as if celebrating life's triumph over destruction. Fire here isn't an end, but a new beginning, encouraging seeds to grow and enriching the soil with ash, making life stronger and richer. This amazing adaptation to fire has made it an essential part of the life cycle in the Cerrado, where nature constantly renews itself in an endless scene. Here, plants and animals coexist with fire, adapting to its harshness so life can continue in this unique ecosystem. Wildlife in the Cerrado is a canvas of diversity and beauty. In the tall grasses, the giant anteater hides with its huge body and thick fur, wandering in search of its favourite food. It uses its strong claws to tear open termite mounds and dips its long, sticky tongue into the tunnels to swallow thousands of insects every day. It's an amazing sight to see how this animal adapts to its environment, where every part of its body becomes a tool for survival. Among the tree branches, The three-toed sloth hangs, moving very slowly as if time stops around it. Its slow steps on the branches allow it to blend in, and it lives on a simple diet of leaves. This extreme slowness is the secret to its survival, as it saves energy in an environment where food might be limited. In the shade of the trees, other animals rest, each carrying special secrets for survival in this changing world. From reptiles hiding under rocks to birds soaring over the savannah, every creature here tells a unique story of adapting to the challenges of the Cerrado. But this amazing diversity faces a silent threat, slowly creeping to change the face of this land forever. Unlike the Amazon rainforest, which is famous worldwide, the Cerrado remains in the shadows, despite its natural treasures. This unique savanna is often forgotten, even though it holds unparalleled life. Vast areas of grasses and trees are disappearing, turning into barren lands, a sight that threatens the survival of this wonderful ecosystem. Studies show that more than half of the original Cerrado area has already disappeared, leaving a void in the web of life. This destruction doesn't just threaten plants and animals, it changes the very features of the land, shrinking the areas that once teemed with life. Even water sources are affected as rivers dry up and streams disappear, making life harder for every creature in the Cerrado. Many of Brazil's major rivers start here, bringing life from the heart of the savanna to the rest of the country. The Cerrado is a biological treasure disappearing before our eyes, and with it, unique wildlife scenes found nowhere else. The need to protect this vibrant heart of Brazil has become more urgent than ever, so this land can remain a home for life and a source of inspiration and natural beauty. In the heart of the vast grasslands of the Cerrado, where the plains stretch to the horizon and the grasses sway with the wind, roams a unique predator, unlike any other wolf in the world. The maned wolf, with its strange look that mixes traits of a fox and a deer, stands tall among the long grasses, watching its surroundings with careful eyes. The maned wolf is like an unofficial symbol of this area. It's seen everywhere in the Cerrado, showing the special wild spirit of this place. The maned wolf has a face like a fox, long legs like a deer, and a thin body that lets it move easily through the thick grass. Its very long legs give it a special advantage, allowing it to see above the tall grass, while its reddish-orange fur gives it a unique glow in the sunlight. And on its neck and back, there's long black hair that stands up when it feels danger, making it look bigger and more impressive. That's where its name maned comes from. Unlike other wolves that live and hunt in groups, the maned wolf prefers to live alone, wandering by itself through its wide home. At dawn and dusk, when fog covers the ground and sounds fade, the maned wolf starts its rounds, quietly and calmly looking for its varied food. It sneaks through the grass, smelling the ground and checking every corner, using its sharp senses and its ability to adapt to changes in the environment. The maned wolf's diet is amazingly flexible. It eats whatever nature provides. It eats small rodents, rabbits, birds, insects and reptiles, taking every chance it gets to hunt prey or find new food. But what really makes the maned wolf special is how much it relies on fruit, especially during dry seasons when there are fewer animal prey. There's a fruit called wolf apple or lobaguara fruit, which grows a lot in the Cerrado, and it becomes a main food source for this predator. In some seasons, this fruit makes up to half of its diet, giving it the energy and water it needs to survive. The relationship between the maned wolf and the lobaguara plant is a unique partnership where each benefits the other. When the wolf eats the fruit, it spreads its seeds through its droppings to new areas, helping the plant spread and the Cerrado's plant life grow back. Because of this role, the maned wolf helps keep the ecosystem balanced and boosts the variety of plants in its home. This way of eating makes it less dependent on successful hunting, giving it a lot of flexibility to handle changes in the environment. In the open world of the Cerrado, the maned wolf remains the king of the grasslands, controlling vast areas with its wisdom and calm. But in the thicker areas closer to water, another equally impressive predator stands out, the jaguar, the true master of the forests and jungles. The jaguar is the biggest big cat in the Americas, and its strong body and clear muscles make it an unmatched predator in terms of power. The jaguar has an incredibly strong bite, able to break through the toughest skulls and shells, even easily cracking a turtle's shell. This super strength lets it hunt all kinds of prey, from big mammals to armoured reptiles. The jaguar lives a quiet and solitary life, moving lightly through the thick trees, hidden in the shadows, making no sound unless it attacks. The jaguar relies on stealth and surprise, approaching its prey with great patience, hiding in the grass or behind trees, waiting for the right moment. Its spotted fur with rose-like patterns gives it perfect camouflage among the leaves and moving shadows, making it hard for any prey to spot. It waits patiently in its hiding spot, watching every move, ready to pounce in a flash. The jaguar often chooses riverbanks or water areas where other animals gather to drink or find food. There it waits silently until its prey gets close, then it pounces with amazing power and speed. The jaguar's prey in the Cerrado is diverse. It hunts anything it can overpower, from large mammals to reptiles and birds, but it prefers large animals that give it a big meal and the energy it needs to roam its vast home. Among its favourite prey is the capybara, the largest rodent in the world, which lives in family groups near water. Capybaras are cautious and fast, but the jaguar, with its experience and patience, can catch them in a surprise attack. The jaguar also hunts peccaries, which are a type of wild pig that lives in groups, as well as small caimans that get close to riverbanks. The attack is quick and decisive as the jaguar pounces on its prey from its hiding spot, often aiming for the neck or the back of the skull with one fatal blow. This powerful strike gives it full control over its prey and lessens its suffering. Every time the jaguar hunts, it proves it's the master of stealth and surprise in the Cerrado world. This ongoing fight between predator and prey is a key part of the Cerrado's ecosystem balance, where this dynamic helps keep the living community healthy. Thanks to the jaguar, the number of plant-eating animals stays in check, and the Cerrado ecosystem remains full of life and variety, where every creature has a vital role in this magical wilderness. In the heart of the Cerrado, life isn't just about predators and prey. It's a daily battle against a harsh, natural world, where burning heat and long droughts set the rules for every living thing. Here, under a merciless sun, staying alive becomes a test of will and how well you can adapt. As the dry season arrives, the green slowly fades away. The grasslands turn into a blanket of broken yellow straw, and small ponds disappear, leaving cracks in the thirsty ground. In this tough world, every drop of water is a treasure. Animals have to travel long distances to find rare sources of life, and their movements slow down because of the heat and dryness. The capybara, the world's largest rodent, can't stay away from water. They know that staying close to the remaining riverbanks and ponds is the key to surviving this harsh season. Capybaras spend the hot daytime hours submerged in shallow water, cooling their bodies from the sun's heat. Only their eyes and ears stay above the surface, watching their surroundings carefully. But relying on water puts them in danger. Predators like jaguars and anacondas patiently wait at these few oases, where life and death meet at the water's edge. As for the giant anteater, it has developed a unique strategy to deal with the heat and drought. Its body is covered in coarse, long fur, and its bushy tail spreads out behind it like a fan. This isn't for show, but a vital tool for survival. In the middle of the day, the anteater curls up and uses its tail like an umbrella to block the scorching sun, creating a small shady spot for itself in the grassy desert. Its low metabolism gives it an extra advantage. It needs less energy and can survive on very little food and water, outperforming most mammals its size. This adaptation allows it to roam vast dry areas where food and water are scarce, without losing its ability to survive. The anteater continues its journey through the savanna, looking for termite mounds buried in the dry ground. These are not only its food source, but also give it the moisture it needs to fight thirst. Even the smallest creatures in the Cerrado have developed their own ways to deal with the drought. Praying mantises are masters of camouflage. They take on colours and shapes that look like dry branches and withered leaves, disappearing from predators' eyes and silently catching their prey. They lay their eggs in foamy cases that quickly harden, forming a protective shield that guards the embryos from dryness and the sun's heat until the rains come again. Giant ants, which can be up to 4 centimetres long, come out in the early morning or evening when temperatures drop. This allows them to gather food without losing too much water. All these adaptations, from the largest to the smallest, form a complex web of solutions that allow life to continue, despite the harsh conditions and environmental challenges. As the heat and drought increase, a new threat appears that changes the face of the savanna. Natural wildfires which suddenly ignite and consume dry grasses at an incredible speed. These fires, while a part of the Cerrado's life cycle, pose an extra challenge for animals, as a safe haven can turn into a fiery trap in moments. Flames sweep across the grasslands, leaving behind scorched black earth and forcing animals to flee for survival amidst the smoke and ash. Slow animals like turtles and sloths find themselves facing death, as it's hard for them to escape the creeping flames. Even fast animals can get caught in the fiery trap, forced to make life-or-death decisions in mere moments. In the aftermath of the fire, animals stand among the ashes, looking for shelter and food in a changed landscape. The struggle for survival becomes even tougher as there's no room for weakness in a world ruled by heat and drought. Even though Siberia and the Cerrado are very different, they both face a common threat that puts the very core of life there in danger: climate change and habitat destruction. These forces aren't just changing the scenery, they're reshaping the delicate connections between living things and their environments, pushing ecosystems to their breaking point. At the heart of this problem, we see that habitat destruction and climate change work together, destroying the very foundations that wildlife depends on. In Siberia, the permafrost, which has been frozen for thousands of years, is melting, revealing land that has never known warmth before. This melting doesn't just change the shape of the land, it releases huge amounts of greenhouse gases and causes soil to collapse and rivers to change their paths, creating new lakes and swallowing up old forests. As the land changes, plants and animals that relied on stability find it hard to survive. Birds that nest in the frozen ground lose their homes, and small mammals that built their burrows in the solid earth face the danger of drowning or becoming homeless. Predators like wolves and bears find less food because the numbers of rodents and wild rabbits are going down. Even plants which are used to short-growing seasons now face unexpected warm periods that affect their life cycle. In the Cerrado, habitat destruction takes a different but equally harsh form. Clearing forests and savannas breaks up the ecosystem, leaving isolated patches of wildlife in the middle of huge farms. As the original plants disappear, animals lose their food sources and shelters. Birds that relied on dense trees find themselves exposed, and large mammals like the maned wolf and jaguar are forced to cross dangerous open areas. This breaking up leads to animal groups becoming isolated, reducing their chances of mating and genetic diversity, and making them more likely to get sick and die out. Animals that need large areas to roam, like the giant anteater, find themselves trapped in small pockets of habitat, which threatens their long-term survival. Climate change makes things even worse. In Siberia, higher temperatures lead to shorter and warmer winters, which messes up the seasonal rhythm of life for animals and plants. Rain that freezes on top of the snow creates ice layers that prevent reindeer and Taiga antelope from reaching grass, leading to widespread starvation and many deaths. Polar bears face growing challenges as sea ice melts, forcing them to swim longer distances to find food, which drains their energy and reduces the chances of their cubs surviving. The speed of these changes is too fast for many species to adapt. Some animals change their migration or breeding seasons, but that's not always enough to keep up with the sudden shifts. In the Cerrado, climate change leads to longer and harsher droughts, and it makes the fires that burn what's left of natural habitats even worse. Repeated fires stop forests from growing back and push the land towards becoming a desert, which reduces the ecosystem's ability to support life. This double pressure from habitat destruction and climate change creates a vicious cycle that pushes fragile ecosystems towards a breaking point, where every small change causes a chain of effects. However, nature sometimes shows an amazing ability to bounce back. Some plants sprout from the ashes, and some animals adapt to the new conditions. But the limits of this resilience depend on how fast and how severe the changes are. Even with the dark threats hanging over Siberia and the Cerrado, nature still shows its hidden strength. With each new sunrise, golden light spills over the forests and savannas, as if the earth itself is announcing a new hope. In the heart of these wild lands, amazing stories of recovery and strength show themselves. Every tree that grows from the ashes of fires and every tiny plant that pushes its way through rocks tells a story of life's strong will to keep going. In Siberia, the Taiga was once a sign of being lost, its roar fading in the snow. But nature wouldn't let it go. Over the years, the number of tigers grew, and their roars are now heard again among the pine trees, showing life's win over the threat of dying out. It wasn't just the taiga that got better. Herds of deer followed, birds of prey grew in number, and the forest became balanced again. Every creature in this natural system, from the smallest bugs to the biggest hunters, found its place in the renewed song of life. Even with the climate changing and seasons shifting, animals showed an amazing ability to adjust. Migration patterns changed, breeding seasons shifted, but life went on, driven by the need to survive and the will to renew. In the Cerrado, where the savanna was suffering from dry weather and fires, the land started to heal. Local plants grew back, covering the soil and bringing it back to life. With each rainy season, wild flowers bloom and grasses spread, turning the dry land into a green picture full of hope. Animals that were in danger of being alone found new paths to cross between the forests and savannas. The maned wolf and the jaguar and other special creatures returned to roam their home freely, looking for food and shelter and redrawing the map of wildlife. Every sight of a rare animal in its home and every green spot that has healed is proof of nature's power and its ability to get better. The earth itself, from space, looks brighter when life returns to its parts. Bringing back the balance of nature doesn't just mean a type of animal or a tree stays alive, it means the earth's heart beats again. Every natural system that gets better gives the planet a new chance to breathe and brings back hope for a brighter future. These success stories, from the return of tigers to the healing of the savanna, show that nature can rise again no matter how hard things get. Every green spot that has healed and every animal that has returned to its home is a win for hope over sadness. The future of Siberia and the Cerrado depends on nature's own strength. and its ability to renew and resist. These wild places, tough and beautiful, hold the secrets of survival and teach us lessons in staying strong and being creative. When forests heal and savannas grow, life returns to the land and nature finds its balance. Every seed that sprouts and every animal that survives is a promise of a brighter future for our planet. Nature's treasures are not just resources. They are the lifeblood of the whole Earth. Protecting them means protecting the planet's spirit and its ever-renewing beauty through time. In every corner of the wild, nature whispers its stories, inviting us to see the wonders of healing and renewal. May these wild places remain a safe haven for life and a symbol of never-ending hope. In the vast plains of Siberia, where forests turn into endless icy plains, there are hidden water worlds. Ancient rivers wind like silver threads, and lakes are so deep they hold secrets untouched by time. These calm waters are the Earth's veins, pulsing with life even when the freezing air settles above them. As winter's grip tightens, rivers like the Lena and Yenisei slow down under a thick shield of ice. Their currents whisper beneath the surface. Yet under this frozen shield, life continues. Schools of omal and grayling fish swim in the cold darkness, their bodies adapted to the extreme cold. And in the stillness, the Baikal seal glides with ease, the only freshwater seal on Earth, perfectly at home in the crystal depths of Lake Baikal. With the first breath of spring, the ice breaks and melts, unleashing a rush of life. The rivers awaken, carrying meltwater across plains and forests, flooding new habitats for millions of aquatic creatures. Along the banks, rare Siberian cranes wade in the shallow waters, searching for fish and insects in the submerged grass. Amphibians emerge from their winter sleep, filling the air with their songs and sounds. Beneath the glassy surface, aquatic plants bloom. Delicate water lilies and swaying reeds create a haven for many species. Pike and perch wait among the stalks, while dragonfly larvae hunt with silent precision. Tiny plankton bloom in the sunlight, feeding the entire food web from the smallest fish to the majestic sea eagle soaring above. As summer deepens, the lakes and rivers become a tapestry of colours and movement. Fish spawn in the shallow waters, their shimmering bodies a fleeting dance of survival. Otters glide through the reeds, playful yet always alert. Above, flocks of migratory birds stop to rest and feed, their reflections mirrored in the calm waters. When autumn arrives, the days shorten and the waters cool. Leaves drift to settle on the surface, colouring the lakes with golden and crimson hues. Many creatures prepare for the coming frostfish descend to deeper, warmer layers, while amphibians burrow into muddy banks. With the first snowfall, silence returns. The rivers and lakes sleep under their icy blankets, but life continues, waiting for the cycle to begin again. In these aquatic worlds, each season brings a transformation, a testament to the resilience and mystery of Siberia's hidden waters. Here, wildlife persists, where silent currents form an unseen world, where the wonders of nature unfold far from human eyes. Above the endless plains and calm waters, Siberia's ancient mountains rise like forgotten guardians. The Sayan and Altai mountains, with their rough, always snowy peaks, cut through the clouds and cast long shadows on the ground. Here the earth folds and breaks. High cliffs, deep valleys, and secret valleys carved by glaciers over thousands of years. Under the snowy peaks, the rock tells a story older than memory. Huge granite rocks shine under the soft sun. Their surfaces have veins of quartz and rare minerals. Volcanic domes, remnants of a fiery past, are scattered everywhere, their slopes covered with obsidian and basalt. In the spring thaw, waterfalls tumble from incredible heights, filling the valleys with a steady, echoing sound. Life clings to these rugged heights in ways found nowhere else. The elusive snow leopard walks quietly along a rocky ledge, its grey fur blending perfectly with the rocks. In the sheltered valleys, Siberian dwarf pines and European pines grow together, their roots gripping the thin soil, braving the harsh winds. Among their branches, the Siberian tit flits quickly, a bird as unnoticed as the moss covering the stones. High above, golden eagles ride the warm air currents, their sharp eyes scanning the rocky terrain for any movement. On the sun-warmed slopes, Altai-Argali sheep move nimbly across impossible cliffs, their spiral horns outlined against the sky. In hidden meadows, wild peonies and edelweiss bloom for short, bright periods, colouring the landscape before the cold returns. As night falls, the temperature drops quickly, and mist rises from the valley floors. Frost crystals form intricate patterns on every surface, catching the last rays of sunlight in a silent, shimmering display. In rare moments, the aurora borealis unfolds above the peaks, its green and violet ribbons dancing in the sky and reflecting in the frozen mountain lakes below. In these remote mountains and valleys, no human footsteps disturb the ancient silence. The land remains wild and untamed, a kingdom ruled by rock, snow, and the creatures that have mastered its secrets. Here the earth breathes in slow, deep rhythms, and the wonders of Siberia's highlands remain hidden, waiting for another dawn. As the sun spins on its ancient axis, the forests of Siberia change in a silent, never-ending cycle. With the first light of spring, winter's icy grip loosens, melting into sparkling streams that wind through the mossy ground. Buds swell on the tips of pine and birch trees, a quiet promise of life. Under the melting cover, Siberian musk deer appear, their delicate hooves stepping quietly on the spongy ground, feeding on new buds and tender leaves. High in the sky, flocks of migratory birds return from distant lands, their calls echoing through the waking trees. Black storks glide, searching for hidden wetlands, while Siberian jays flutter among the branches, gathering twigs to build their nests. Summer arrives with a burst of green, ferns unfurl, wildflowers colour the forest floor, and the air hums with insects. The Amur tiger, almost invisible in the dappled light, watches the ancient paths through the dense bushes, its presence felt more than seen. Elk and wild boars roam in the shadows, feeding on the abundant grasses and berries, while the red squirrel leaps nimbly from one pine tree to another, gathering the season's bounty. As autumn approaches, the forests blaze with a glow of gold and crimson. Leaves fall in slow swirls, covering the ground and feeding the soil. Brown bears feed on berries and nuts, getting ready for a long sleep ahead. Sable and ermine grow thick winter fur, and the great grey owl becomes more active, gliding silently in search of prey. The first snow falls gently, silencing every sound. Winter's grip tightens, the forest quiets, branches heavy with frost. Many animals retreat to dens or nests, but reindeer migrate in silent herds, moving south in search of food. Wolves follow from a distance, cutting through the white silence. But even in the depths of winter, life continues. Pine needles catch the sunlight, lichens cling to tree bark, and tiny mice dig tunnels under the snow. The forest breathes in slow, steady rhythms, each season shaping the life within it. When the world tilts again and the snow begins to melt, the eternal cycle begins anew. The forests of Siberia stand strong, ancient, ever-changing and wild, a living testament to nature's toughness. In the vast, untouched wilderness of Siberia, some lives hang by a thread, hidden in the shadows of ancient forests and frozen tundra. Here, among the mossy valleys and silent rivers, rare and endangered creatures quietly endure, each one a fragile thread in the fabric of this wild land. Deep in the dense taiga, the elusive Amur tiger roams with a light step. With only a few left in the wild, its golden fur, spotted with black rosettes, blends perfectly with the undergrowth. It moves in near silence, patiently stalking its prey, a patience born of necessity. The taiga's home is shrinking, threatened by the spread of wildfires and a decrease in prey, yet it adapts, making its way into remote corners where few dare to follow. Above, the eastern Siberian crane soars over vast wetlands. Its haunting call drifts through the morning mist, a song rarely heard now. These elegant birds rely on pristine swamps for nesting and feeding, but as their habitats shrink, each breeding season becomes a race against extinction. Their ghostly white wings, tipped with black, are a fragile banner of hope. Beneath the snow-covered pine trees, the Siberian musk deer appears at dawn. Small and secretive, it's hunted for its musk, which is valued in distant markets. Its survival depends on tangled vegetation, where it can disappear at the slightest sign of danger. Every day is a test of agility and caution, as it forages for lichens and tender buds. In the clear, cold rivers, the Siberian sturgeon drifts through ancient currents. Its armoured body, unchanged for millions of years, now faces new threats. Dams and pollution disrupt its breeding grounds, while illegal fishing takes its toll. The sturgeon's journey upstream, once a timeless ritual, becomes increasingly perilous. High in the mountain passes, snow sheep climb the rocky slopes. Their thick fur protects them from the biting winds, but even here, isolation cannot guarantee safety. Climate change and habitat loss threaten their fragile alpine world, making each generation more uncertain than the last. Yet within these silent struggles, resilience endures. Each species is a survivor, shaped over millennia of adapting to Siberia's harsh conditions. Conservation efforts, though often unseen, offer a lifeline, protecting habitats, monitoring populations, and enforcing bans on poaching. The future remains uncertain, but as long as these rare creatures roam, hope continues. In Siberia's deep silence, rare and endangered creatures endure, testaments to nature's wild heart and to the delicate balance that sustains life in the shadows. Beyond the dense forests and calm rivers lies a world shaped by snow and wind. The Siberian Arctic tundra. Here the land stretches out endlessly, a huge white mosaic of frozen ground and rocks speckled with lichens. Temperatures drop way below freezing, and the sun, when it shows up, shines low on the horizon, casting long blue shadows across the snow. Life here is a delicate miracle, written in the language of adapting and enduring. The Arctic fox, with its thick, snow-white coat, moves lightly across the frozen crust, its ears perked up for the slightest sounds under the surface. In winter, it lives by scavenging and foraging, relying on memory and instinct to find hidden food or follow the path of a snowy owl. Under the snow, lemmings dig a maze of tunnels, hiding from the biting winds and sharp-eyed predators. Their presence is the pulse of the tundra, feeding the food chain. When lemming numbers go up, so do the chances for the Arctic fox, the ermine, and the rare, ghostly snowy owl, whose silent wings sweep across the endless white. Above, herds of reindeer migrate in ghostly lines, their hooves crunching the frozen soil as they search for moss and lichens. Their journey is an ancient rhythm, in sync with the seasons and the slow return of the midnight sun. While the cold is harsh, their thick coats and group strength protect them from the worst weather. In the short, sudden summer, the tundra changes. Tiny, tough flowers bloom from the melting ground, colouring the area with purples and yellows. Swarms of insects wake up, and birds arrive, plovers, sandpipers, and the striking red-throated loon, from far-off continents to breed in the passing warmth. For a few short weeks, the tundra is full of life and song. Yet, even in its quietest moments, the Arctic tundra is not empty. It's a vital engine in the world's climate, trapping carbon in its frozen soil and reflecting sunlight with its endless snow. Every animal, every plant, is a thread in this complex web, each one adapted to survive where many cannot. This is the Siberian Arctic tundra, harsh, achingly beautiful, and full of secrets. In its silence and extremes, it stands as one of Earth's last wild frontiers, a testament to nature's power to endure.